Hi. In this video, we'll learn how to solve one-step equation. In order to solve one-step equation, our main goal is to isolate the variable. And we're going to isolate the variable in 3 simple steps. The first step is to identify the operation. The second step is to perform the inverse operation. And the third step is to simplify. Now this may not make any sense at first, but once we go through the problem, you will understand what I mean by that. Let's jump to the problem number 1. Our equation is x plus 7 is equal to 10. So the first step that we need to do is to identify the operation that is being performed on the variable x. We see that the only operation here is plus. So the operation is addition here. And what is the inverse operation of adding 7? Inverse means opposite. So opposite of adding 7 is subtracting 7. So I'm going to subtract 7 here. Now remember that whatever you do to one side of the equation, you do the same to the other side of the equation in order to keep the equation balanced. So since we subtracted the left-hand side of the equation by 7, we're going to do the same on the right-hand side of the equation. And the final step is to simplify it now. So let's go ahead and simplify the equation. Negative 7 and positive 7 is going to be 0. So we finally have our x by itself. And this is equal to 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. This is our final answer. Now let's take a look at the next problem. The next equation is x minus 9 equals 3. Now let's follow the steps. The first step is to identify the operation that is being performed on the variable x. Here we see that the operation is subtraction. Now, the next step is to perform the inverse operation. So if the operation is subtraction, we need to add the same number to both sides of the equation. Opposite of subtracting 9 is adding 9. So we're going to add 9 here. Now remember that whatever we do to one side, we do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So we're going to add 9 on the other side of the equation as well. Now the last step is to simplify. So minus 9 and positive 9 is going to be 0. We have got x by itself, which is what we finally need. And 3 plus 9 is equal to 12. So x is equal to 12. Now we can also cross-check our answer by substituting the solution back into the original equation. And if both sides are equal, then the solution is correct. Let's take a look at this. We have x equals 3 here, so if I substitute 3 back into my equation, this is going to be 3 plus 7 is equal to 10. Is the statement true? Yes, it is true. So we know that our final answer is correct. X is equal to 3. We can do the same thing here. If I plug in 12 back into my original equation, this becomes 12 minus 9. And 12 minus 9 is equal to 3. Is the statement correct? Yes, it is true. Now let's jump on to the problem number 3. Our equation is we have 2x is equal to 18. Now, the first step that we're going to need to solve our equation is identify the operation. So let's identify the operation that is being performed on the variable x. We see that 2 is being multiplied by x. Then the second step is to perform the inverse operation on both sides of the equation to isolate the variable. So inverse of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. Now 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so we have got our x by itself. And this is equal to 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So the last step was to simplify, and we simplified our equation and got x equals 9. Let's take a look at the last problem. We have x divided by 4 is equal to 6. So the first step is to identify the operation. What operation is being performed here? We're seeing that x is divided by 4. The second step is to perform the inverse operation on both sides of the equation in order to isolate the variable. Now, opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 4. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we do the same thing to the other side. Now let's go ahead and simplify this equation. So 4 divided by 4 is going to be 1. You can just cancel that out. We're left with x is equal to 6 times 4 is 24. So x is equal to 24. Now you can cross-check your answer by substituting the value back into your original equation. Your original equation was x divided by 4 is equal to 6. If I plug in 24 for x, it's going to be 24 divided by 4 is equal to 6, which is indeed correct. So we know that our final answer is absolutely correct. That's it for this video. Please like if you find this video helpful and make sure to subscribe if you are new to this channel.